audio levels. How are the audio levels? Making sure I have let me see. Audio coming from the caption. Pretty quiet compared to the game. Let's see. How about now? I am also using a different mic from last time because I had noticed in the previous VOD that I didn't like how the microphone quality was for everything. Okay, that's cool. That's sweet. Okay. So, welcome everybody back to my playthrough of Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Last time we left off in the middle of the introductory case, Turnabout Visitors. And that was about 2 weeks ago. And I have been wanting to get back to this as soon as I possibly could. However, life just seems to have its own way of pulling me in different directions, but that's all good. So, with all that said, I am just gonna get back to playing the game, believing that continue will just leave me off where we left off, investigating the hallway with a ladder. Oh boy. Oh yeah, she's here. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then, what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Maggie Bird. Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. Okay. Just making sure I have chat up somewhere because I'm currently looking at a full screen monitor and I have no way of monitoring chat. So I'm pulling it up on my phone. All right. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the Master Key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Okay. This is cool. I like this gameplay style. What's he doing here? I mean, I shouldn't be surprised in the slightest. I just did not expect him to just be there, like right outside the crime scene. What is a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. The madman. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a oh my gosh, her eyes. Them eyes be vortexes. Oh. This is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the Master Key. Alright. She do be going insect mode, I suppose. I should jog her memory by showing her my notes to her. Okay. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun! Just once I'd have loved to play with them. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them. Unfortunate. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it you are an acquaintance of the detective. She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day, she got caught up in a murder, and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Reading. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Question mark? I wasn't expecting to go that far back. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. This girl is not real. She's a fictional character, everybody. And now I even managed to be named a criminal, just when I become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know! And just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. First, let's gather more evidence here. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Like under there. Oh shoot! I should have done that. I should do that. It's oh. It says oh. Ah. Isn't that the missing O series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it as clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So, what are these O files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. Then that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. I wonder too. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know? You would sleep even out here, Detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime to envision myself winning naturally. But the thief's not under here. Guess there isn't enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway. I mean, if someone could contort themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed. Color me shocked. Sounds to me like somebody has already tried at least once before. Alright. Can't talk to Gumshoe himself. Got that basketball. Another room. The hoop. What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor? That's a good point. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Let's go, officer. You go. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice. Stay focused, or you may start to lose even more weight. Okay. That's where my mind went first, because I feel like, especially if you're dragging it up 12 different floors, like, that it would, like, leave some marks in that. But then my mind is also going to, why did they go through the trouble of bringing that up 12 floors and leaving it in the hallway. Like, there can be a reason, it's just like, I need to figure it out. Oh. It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of my prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? I'm damn happy about that. This office. 1203, 1203. Hey Maggie, whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsman's, sir. Gail. So he's my new neighbor. I see. I suppose he moved in a while I was away overseas. Okay, so that's just a check now. I guess I will get a her again. Wait, was there another? There wasn't another. Yeah, no, there wasn't. Well, first, let's not present. That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor. Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. I know, right? Well, I'm liking this game so far. Welcome in, Donja Dude. Hope you enjoy the stream, or enjoy tuning in. With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that on? Just for a little bit? I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? I guess not. On second thought, they're actually on the same level. Kinda hard to tell. But, oh, the basketball wasn't evidence. I guess I could continue presenting. Well, I can't present profiles, I guess, so... I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I could do with that other than to guard it. It's like talking to another Gumshoe. Her and Gumshoe are cute together. And yeah, they are the brain cell. Together, they are... Even just that brain cell, they still seem to be struggling. I absolutely adore them, though. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 AM. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. I'm reading. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Perhaps I can use some logic here. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? Ah, it's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I had left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key? What did he use it for? What do you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly! Forgetful Mr. Portsman. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to the security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone! I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. Let's see. And then? What happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious! I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Why don't we do that? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny, yep. The door's locked tight. Heh, I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Oh my god. A door? The door, it's not open. Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Lord. It's Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop. I can't believe you put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? Minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's kind of majestic too. Fits in really well with the ambiance of a prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsman seemed dignified, just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne, I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Damn. Room 12030. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. But what am I even wasting time thinking about this? Gotta expect every nook and cranny. Did that already. I've got to use logic at some point here. I like this feature. I like this mechanic. Just like the puzzle pieces bit. Wait, what? What? Would this be the opposite of logic? Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I had totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I had realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended, so... Yeah, I used my house key to make it look like I was locking up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then? Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. But wait, wasn't it already... It's locked though. So does he have this key, or did he like steal it? That's weird. What's this? Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yes, it is. Eureka! Eureka! There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... brain. Use the brain. Or the... prints on the doorknob. Wait. Assumingly. Yeah, that's what we're operating with. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey you. Yeah, you pal. Do us a favor and see what you can live from this, okay? Prince. So, what did you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring detective. I hope I pronounced that right. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. Ah. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well, whose prints should also be on this doorknob. It is of Maggie Bird. Take that! Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Wow. They're gonna... Shit. What have we here? I won't rest until it... Okay, yeah. He's just gonna keep saying that. Here we go. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. I'll get it. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. It looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. Well, let me actually read that. Brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. So Buddy tried to get into the office. Wait. But would Buddy not... Wait, Buddy's not a prosecutor though, he's a detective. Buddy tried the door and he couldn't get in, which is why he left that note. What are you looking at, sir? Oh hey, how about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Oh! That was moved. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. No. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. Better take note of this. Yeah, it's been moved, hence the imprint there. Basketball specifically. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis, it doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Oh! That isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. It's incredible. Wait. Wait. Can't do that. Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'm rather intrigued by something. Care to share? It's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portsman calls his partner Jim. The detective in that Sunday night drama. All My Cops is named Jim too. I bet one of them is a big fan of that show. You seem to know a little something about it yourself. I take it you watch it too. course. The tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. But it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have. Ho ho ho! Friendship, detective? I think you're mistaking it with pity. Ouch! How can you say that, sir? And after all we've been through... Actual sniffles. Ha! I like that achievement. About Miss Bird. No way she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir. Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position. Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to... yeah. Yep. Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one. But just so you know, sir, you can show me evidence in the same way too. I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird. Ignored again. I was wondering about the investigation. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done. A real seasoned pro of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps. You know that you can always check out the really important spots in more detail, right? Yes. And if the area is too big, you can blah blah blah. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, sir. Blah, 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 blah. I knew that as well. And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, just do you. First you blah, 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 and then you blah, 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 blah. When you settled on a piece, you gotta blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, detective. Yeah, thank you. Well, if you can remember all that, then welcome to the world of pros. IW Ace Investigator. Class dismissed. And all I wanted was an updated about the investigation. Oh, Gumshoe. Oh, Gumshoe. Might as well present those to her. I think I will present this. Never mind. Thanks, Tanja, dude. I hope I'm saying that right. I really appreciate it. Honestly, yeah. I try. Wait, go back and oh, okay. It's just inspecting this. Okay. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops! Hey! These number plates slide right out, sir. I see something now. If the numbers just slide out of that slot, Maggie could have easily believed she was going into 1203 and not... Oh, Portsman fooled her into opening Edgeworth's door instead of his. She unknowingly let him into Edgeworth's office because he swapped the nameplates in advance. When the IRL logic pieces fit together, they are clicking. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know? Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Can't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob's clean as a wiped, they think, of course. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. We did it, chat. We completed investigation. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. Oh, it just says that. Cool. Good thing that, like, the player was already shown that it was, so... What? Mr. Portsman? Get out of here. I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. Damn, I like that turn. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Holy shit, they just tossed the evidence. That is careless. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Oh. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jock Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. Everybody stone cold serious. Oh. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can say, if you promise to stay if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime against the guy under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Tell him, Edgeworth. You got it. sorry I was blowing my nose, but I feel that. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? Don't you dare say his name. The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about the forged evidence with that guy. Pick up what you're putting down, and it ain't funny, Portsman. Who really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? It's a battle of wits now, why don't we? I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on, with evidence. Let's cut through your rebuttal. Might as well press. Only 4 statements.
Hold it!
My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is, after all.
Hold it!
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And that's it. That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? He just called this man dumb. Talk about obliteration. It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then, I propose that you use this to open my door. It's technically Maggie, but like, do we use a master key? I can't. I mean, that's the...
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely, you were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. Believe me, I know how it feels to direct with your finger. This remix always gets me. That's right. You use your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, kinda forgot my key at home. So, happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? It's just how they incorporate the prosecutor theme from the original trilogy in this. And it sounds epic, dude. I'm like, I can't help but jam to it. What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right! They do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? I see! I see. That's how this comes into play.
Take that!
Take that! What? The basketball hoop, sir? What? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong... left an usually... which is why it left an usually strong impression on you. I can't tell if that was a typo or if that was like... I guess. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Gah! That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop had been moved. Has been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure. Yeah, I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Is this like tensor? I can't tell. I think it is. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. But that's where you're incorrect, my good friend, who's not a friend. Because Buddy tried getting into your door and you weren't there. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? He also intends to spin around and, like, flex his coat as much as possible before we take this sucker down. I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. What a asshole. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Damn, Edgeworth. Cool bastard.
Hold it!
I am not spouting nonsense. Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. Okay.
Hold it!
For sure, Donja, dude. I'm happy you were able to stop by and watch for a bit. I appreciate it. Go have a good night and rest up. Using the master key, of course. Sure, but you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish? Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. But, like, that's so backwards. Like if you want to have, like, exercise equipment and stuff, like basketball hoops and such, by your office, like, I would think that's for, like, I would think that would be for, like, breaks when you're at work as a prosecutor, not like, because if you're off the clock, then you're gonna go to a gym, not your office. Wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have, with the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so.
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually. But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all the evidence?
Objection!
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Go get him. Oh. Read that again. I think this is here.
Objection!
No-uh. No-uh. That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? Oh, thank you, Aura. Welcome to the stream. There's not a camera upgrade. I just have a ring light off screen. I'm still using my webcam. I just have a different light fixture. Thank you. I did get a new mic though. I'm not using my laptop's internal mic anymore. I'm using like a USB mic, thinking that my voice would come out clearer. It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. Oh boy. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Shall I explain it in full detail for you? Oh! Got him cornered now. You were busy snooping around in my room. The very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. It is, give me a second here. Wait a minute. What is this? Remix? I love the song already, and the remixed version is going off so much. I haven't used this yet, so I assume... Yeah, these were from Edgeworth's office. It's just the only evidence we haven't used yet. I think. Wait. Oh! Yeah.
Take that!
I'm glad I came in clutch there. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Come on. I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What did they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Yeah. Further, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he had heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith and to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. Shouldn't have done that. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Oh boy. And just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. No, you didn't. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I don't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. You just keep spouting contradictions. You keep digging yourself a deeper hole, like Edgeworth said you were going to do. Yeah. Which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I had arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. But you can't prove that, can you? Three pieces of evidence. It's got something to do with that. Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Portsmouth makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you said. I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Come on. We got him on the ropes. If memory serves, you came back... time-based is gonna come down to that, isn't it? If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think that it's perfect? Like I said before, I don't care. Ask around all you like, you'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsmouth said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m. You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Let's press.
Hold it!
Hold it! You are correct, it was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro! Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however. Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here, and I don't quite appreciate that. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. I'm having thoughts going up here. So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit? Yep. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
I was just gonna confirm the rest of it. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time. See, I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ugh. Possible he actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line, and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir, please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! What? Huh? Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. Turnabout. If I only had a clue, did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Logic! Oh. Oh. I mean, another detective? Might not be it. Have two options here. Nailed it. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. Edgeworth's poor jacket. We would have been so lost without it, guys. Ugh. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person. Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Somebody who needed to rearrange the files. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be of much of a stretch to think that it was the work of two different people. I'm wondering why. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it. And once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. That's just a good shot. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has to be a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. Is that all it is? Well, a thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean, two? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. I like this theme already. To announce the truth. Holy moly. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird, and gained entry into my office.
Objection!
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario. Returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then just when he was about to look somewhere else. Who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. It's possible that the number plates were still swapped, so Buddy probably thought it was Portsman's office as well. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office would be my guess, or that too. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was on, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman. Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him and then, God, backstabber. He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Bite on your medal, on your Olympic medal, that is gonna shatter your teeth. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired. The one that landed in my files. Rip the files, am I right? Rest their souls, too. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Thanks, Gumshoe. Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir? Yes. And this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master. It checks out. They stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. Which explains the bloody message being on that file. A stolen O file, right, sir? Or 0, I don't... It looks more like a 0 to me, but like... No, there were some numbers in there, I thought. One moment. I hope people are enjoying this, because I am having a good time playing through this, just for my sake. This is fun. Very much a indeed PogChamp water moment. Oh. Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun, and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shelves getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person I know, the other person is now irrelevant. Because we know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
Oh? Ha ha. Ha ha ha. What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right. It would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, with irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. Fine. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Does it have something to do with the files? I mean, I feel like this, for this unknown suspect to be going into a highly esteemed prosecutor's office with armed, like, it does not, it doesn't seem like this cat burglar thief is some generic person. It seems like somebody that is important to have gone to the lengths of going into Edgeworth's office, or just any prosecutor's office on the 12th floor, like highly esteemed prosecutors. That's what I'm thinking. Although, however the rest of this case pans out, I don't know if we'll find out who that was in this case. Like, but I believe, like, if we don't figure out who that other person is here, then I feel like they've got to come back later. I'm getting preemptive, like early theories, premature theories floating around up in here. Here we go. Holy shit. I swear to God. That's the worst character for them to ever bring back. Damn. This is Allegro. Holy moly. Let's go. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? Oh, I'm turning it up. Oh, man. The soundtrack goes off so freaking hard. This is a cross-examination theme. This is a cross-examination theme. And it's going up so hard. Let's go. We should be out there looking for that thief. I'm sorry. I'm just caught up in the jams that are going here right now. It's so good. Okay, well, game. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course. Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here, at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Okay.
Hold it!
Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the O files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all.
Hold it!
But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that off. What do you mean? What do you mean? You're cutting me off, bro. I didn't even finish. Let me finish. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? You said that. Come on, dude. If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. You see, so I insist again that it was in my office the entire time. Bro, come on.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? I was calling Jim. That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, those sofas in the hall. Really? Gumshoe wasn't just making that up? And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case. Just the items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. Is it? Okay. Since there's no judge here, like Edgeworth just automatically adds that to the testimony. I can get behind that.
Hold it!
A gun and a pendant. It was the... Wait. Was it? Was that one the... Oh. What? This gun, which was the murder weapon. I'm sorry? He brought you his own gun? The detective's own gun was the piece of evidence from a case? Why did he... What? And this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out.
Hold it!
I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave, and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. You know, I feel like the contradiction is right in front of me somewhere here. Like, I know something's off. I just have to read carefully. Like, cross-check with the evidence to know for sure. Because I'm not, like, I'm failing to put pieces together in my head at this moment. But I know they're right in front of me. And it's just gonna take, me cross-checking the evidence with the statements. I think it'll be clear as day once I find out. It just feels like he's so obviously lying here somewhere because he's at the end of his rope. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. I see. Wait. Hey, sorry about that. Wanted to check out on something. Let us resume. So looking over evidence here. Wait. No, it's. Is it just this?
Objection!
It's not. Okay, yeah. You can't draw those conclusions. It's. Yes, well. Stay cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you are all flustered. The detective's right, for a change. Yet how did it come to this? Calm down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. I should also save scum. Is his alibi like a... No, his alibi was a logic thing. But like, I thought there would be like more details, I thought, but... Wait, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking hell.
Objection!
You fucking idiot. Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read. Carefully. Ah, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe to get tripped up by some simple arithmetic. Yeah? Where's the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? That's a police case number, sir. Does this mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. Looks pretty incriminating to me, if I say so myself. That's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean, this might be Detective Faith's blood? No! You got it all wrong! No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. Yeah. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video. Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? Got him. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible. Yikes, buddy. That Scooby-Doo chomp sound effect. God. Wow. That was a satisfying breakdown, gotta say. We did it! Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the final results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Yeah. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. When does that ever happen? happens. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Aw, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murderer this time, sir. If it had been a holdup, or... Oh, thanks, Switch. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. There's a lot to unpack there. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. It's been 2 minutes, detective. And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there was a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, huh? And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we go near that topic, he just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. No, sir, we have not. Huh? Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. I'm pretty dang sure it's this.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of that. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about? Yes. It is the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Under the mark of the legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to no end. To the end, rather. A modern Robin Hood. It's like Harvey Birdman looking ass. I don't know what the fuck. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. So this guy is the thief. And he's gonna be an ongoing important role, I take it. Disenjoying the music. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media. Yikes. That's a wake-up call for that. For people under that umbrella. Along with the single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look! Something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Whatever could this mean? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Ooh, okay. Interesting. I dig it. Let's go. Turnabout visitor completed. Turnabout Airlines is next. Episode 2 of Ace Attorney Investigations 1. This has been so... Thank you. This has been pretty cool so far. I like the style of these investigations games when compared to the mainline Ace Attorney, with the trials and such, the investigation portions of the original trilogy. It's I like the differences that are here, and it feels fresh, which is very important to me. If only because oh god, that silhouette. Oh boy, we're in for something. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so... Unlock new items in the gallery. Thank you. You're telling me. So... Thank you all, whoever showed up. I appreciate those of you that tuned in, those of you that partook in the chat, even ever so briefly. I'm getting, like, already the second stream I've done, and I am feeling as if I'm getting ever so the hang of ever so much the hang of streaming in general. I still feel like I've got a long ways to go to where I want to be, but I am really I'm really happy that I'm playing a game that I had been meaning to play for years, to continue a franchise that is among my most beloved games of all time. I'm glad that these games are of 2D art as opposed to the 3D. Like, I mean, like I don't mind the 3D style from what I've seen. It's just so it is a departure from the original trilogy's artistic integrity, and I feel like these investigations games do like utilize the 2D art more. So it's nice to have more games that are part of the Ace Attorney franchise that I have not experienced yet up until now. So Turnabout Visitor seemed like, for an introductory case, I thought that was pretty solid. I think there were I only imagine the cases will get longer because the first cases are usually the tutorials and usually shorter by comparison. But that was a pretty good opening, I'd say. Like, we knew who the killer was from the get-go because they did that like foreshadowing moment, like what foreshadowing, or like they just showed us who it was like verbatim in the opening cutscene. But yeah, I'm glad that I finished it today, and part of why I'm glad of that is because as of now, like generally, like I'll most certainly deviate like from time to time what I do in terms of when I stream, what I stream. So my goal from when I started this game on stream 2 weeks ago today, and my goal is to stream every Tuesday night. It seems to be a free night for me, so I figured why not? I'll add that into my routine. The last Tuesday didn't work for reasons, but I came back to here, and I'm thinking like of taking next Tuesday off from streaming because I have some life stuff to take care of, and then the following Tuesday after next week is going to be the week of Halloween. And I bring that up because I tend to come back then for streaming another game that I've never played and that has been on my backlog, and a game that I feel like I really should have played at this point. But that game being Luigi's Mansion, the original Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. And I thought to myself, I really want to play it for Halloween. I've thought that for at least 2 years now. Because it feels like it's not like a straight up horror game. It's Nintendo goofy spookiness. And it's one that I never got around to like playing thoroughly myself. And I wanted to do that. I figured like I could do that 2 weeks from now in the week of Halloween. Hopefully, like, because I hear it's a short game, I might do a bit of a longer stream. Longer, like, and that's another thing. I started at 9 tonight when I had meant to start at 8, and ideally I want to like start my streams earlier than 8 so that either I can end earlier or have just longer material in general, longer sessions in general to play games. But that said, for Luigi's Mansion, I would like strive to play in a long session. I hear it's not that long of a game. I tend to be not the quickest player, as maybe you can see through my Ace Attorney investigations playthroughs here. Like, I try to like look at everything, and like I'm a very detail oriented like type of player, when I want to be, which is usually a lot of the time. So I anticipate that like even if I do like a longer stream for Luigi's Mansion 2 weeks from now, I may need another session to finish it, in which case I might finish it on Halloween day itself. But at this point, it's all just like hopes, plans, and that. And I'm not gonna hold myself to like any I'm just gonna play it by ear. Outside of streaming 2 weeks from today, Tuesday the 29th, I believe, I will be streaming Luigi's Mansion, and if need be, I'll finish it on the stream following that. But as of now, that's next week. I'm off, and the 29th I'll be back with a game that isn't Ace Attorney Investigations. And after I finish Luigi's Mansion, I will be back to this as soon as I can. Thank you all for tuning in. This is fun, and till next time, I'll see you all later. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night, all.